Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Space exploration has always captured the imagination, but it can also be a terrifying frontier where things can go horribly wrong. The vast, cold, and unforgiving nature of space has led to some truly chilling moments for those brave enough to venture into the unknown. In this video, we'll dive into the top 10 terrifying last things astronauts have said in space, offering a glimpse into their final moments. Number 10. Houston, we have a problem, Jim Lovell, Apollo 13. We start the countdown with one of the most famous quotes in space exploration history, uttered by astronaut Jim Lovell during the Apollo 13 mission. While not his last words, the phrase became iconic because it marked the beginning of a life-threatening situation in space. The mission was supposed to land on the moon, but an oxygen tank exploded, leaving the crew in peril. What makes this quote terrifying is the calmness with which it was said, even as the crew faced the very real possibility of death in the vast emptiness of space. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of disaster, astronauts are trained to remain composed. Thankfully, the crew survived, but this moment remains etched in history as one of the most harrowing space experiences ever recorded. The controlled chaos behind those words makes us realize how fragile life in space truly is. Number 9. I think I've been hit, Luca Parmitano, 2013 EVA. During a spacewalk in 2013, Italian astronaut Luca Parmitano faced a terrifying situation when water began filling his helmet. As he struggled to breathe and communicate with ground control, his last coherent words were, "I think I've been hit," before his voice became muffled. Imagine being in the cold vacuum of space, miles above Earth, and suddenly feeling as if you're drowning, with no way to remove your helmet. Parmitano's ordeal was a close call, and he barely made it back to safety. His words are a chilling reminder of the dangers astronauts face during extravehicular activities. It's difficult to comprehend the isolation and fear he must have felt, knowing he was alone, far from help, with seconds between life and death. Number 8. This is not going to end well, Soyuz 11 crew, 1971. In 1971, the Soyuz 11 crew became the first people to board a space station, but their triumph quickly turned to tragedy. Upon re-entry to Earth's atmosphere, a cabin depressurization occurred, and the 3 cosmonauts perished. Their last transmission was, "This is not going to end well." It's horrifying to imagine the crew's realization that they were doomed with nothing they could do to save themselves. Their bodies were recovered upon landing, but the haunting words they left behind remain a grim testament to the dangers of space travel. This devastating incident exposed the lethal risks of space exploration, leading to significant changes in future missions. Number 7. Fire in the cabin, Gus Grissom, Apollo 1. The Apollo 1 mission was supposed to be a routine test on the launch pad, but disaster struck when a fire ignited in the cabin, trapping astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee inside. Grissom's last words, "Fire in the cabin," were transmitted moments before the flames consumed the crew. The terror of being trapped in a confined space as flames engulf everything around you is a nightmare that became all too real for the Apollo 1 crew. Their deaths led to significant changes in NASA's safety protocols, but their last moments remain a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong in space. This tragedy is etched in history as one of the darkest moments in the space race, marking the price of innovation in such a hostile environment. Number 6. I feel like a bird with broken wings, Valentin Bondarenko, 1961. Valentin Bondarenko was part of the early Soviet cosmonaut program and tragically perished in a fire during a high-altitude Challenger test. His last words, "I feel like a bird with broken wings," were a poignant expression of helplessness. This statement is haunting because it speaks to the vulnerability of astronauts despite their rigorous training and preparation. Bondarenko's death was kept secret by the Soviet government for many years, adding to the eerie mystique surrounding his final words. The sheer despair and loneliness captured in that sentence still evoke a deep sense of sorrow for those who read it, forever tying his fate to the hidden sacrifices made in the early days of space exploration. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling and mysterious stories. Number 5. I'm going to step off the LEM now, Neil Armstrong, Apollo 11. While Neil Armstrong's first words on the moon, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," are celebrated, the moments leading up to his lunar descent were filled with tension and uncertainty. As he prepared to exit the lunar module, Armstrong reportedly whispered to himself, "I'm going to step off the LEM now." What makes this moment chilling is the realization that he was about to become the first human to set foot on an alien world, with no guarantee of safety. One wrong move could have meant disaster, and the entire mission rested on his shoulders. Armstrong's whispered self-reflection highlights the immense pressure he was under, making the moment even more spine-tingling when we think of how easily things could have gone awry. Number 4. I hope we make it back, Michael Collins, Apollo 11. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were making history on the moon, Michael Collins was alone in the command module orbiting above. He later revealed that he felt an overwhelming sense of isolation and fear. His last transmission before losing contact with Earth for 48 minutes was, "I hope we make it back." Being completely cut off from all communication, floating alone in the vast expanse of space, must have been terrifying. Collins' words reflect the very real danger astronauts face, even during missions as historic as Apollo 11. As the forgotten astronaut of the mission, Collins' words offer a rare glimpse into the silent terror he experienced, emphasizing the mental challenges of spaceflight. Number 3. The horizon seems to be curved. Vladimir Komarov, Soyuz 1. Vladimir Komarov's mission on Soyuz 1 was doomed from the start, with numerous technical failures plaguing the spacecraft. As Komarov re-entered Earth's atmosphere, the parachute failed to deploy, sealing his fate. His last words, "The horizon seems to be curved," were spoken just before the capsule crashed into the ground. Komarov's eerie observation is a stark reminder of how disorienting and surreal the final moments of life in space can be. His death was a major blow to the Soviet space program, and his last words continue to haunt those who study the tragedy. The quiet acceptance in his final words reveals the gravity of space's unforgiving nature, making this one of the most chilling entries in space history. Number 2. I'm Not Feeling So Good. Laurel B. Clark, Columbia disaster. In 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated upon re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, killing all 7 crew members. Among them was astronaut Laurel B. Clark, whose last transmission was, "I'm not feeling so good." These words are particularly haunting because they reflect a moment of confusion and helplessness as the crew began to realize something was terribly wrong. The Columbia disaster remains one of NASA's darkest moments, and Clark's final words echo the tragedy of a mission gone fatally awry. The calmness of her words in the face of impending doom reveals the stoic courage astronauts must summon in their most vulnerable moments. Number 1. We are burning up. Vladimir mission, Soyuz 5. The most terrifying last words ever recorded in space belong to Vladimir Mission, a Soviet cosmonaut aboard Soyuz 5 in 1969. During re-entry, the spacecraft's heat shield failed, causing the capsule to catch fire. Mission's final words, "We are burning up," were transmitted just before the spacecraft was consumed by flames. The horror of being trapped in a burning spacecraft plummeting toward Earth with no hope of escape is almost unimaginable. Mission's tragic fate serves as a chilling reminder of the deadly risks astronauts face every time they venture into space. His final desperate words are a sobering testament to the harsh realities of space exploration, where even the smallest error can have catastrophic consequences. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with more exciting and mysterious content.